I hope you guys are having a great Labor Day and you're able to relax and hang out with family. And most importantly, I hope you're not working, because that would really defeat the purpose of Labor Day. So yeah, all those Labor Day sales, yeah, that's dumb. Way to completely misuse a holiday and literally do the opposite in the name of capitalism. I'm nothing against capitalism, mind you. I just feel like not everything has to be used in some form to make money. Anyway, I want to make some YouTube money, so I want to talk about some video games. Nah, I'm kidding. But I do want to talk about the heartbreaks of 2023 so far, at least for me. And I'm curious what you guys have as different heartbreaks for you when it comes to gaming. Games that have been delayed, maybe games that have been canceled, or maybe just games that didn't turn out to be the way you wanted them to be. This video is inspired by Suikoden 1 and 2 remake being delayed. And I have to be honest, it's a series I've been watching for a long time. In fact, ever since they announced they were going to do a remake, I've been watching it for years now. And of course, there's been rumors left and right for the better part of a decade talking about the re-release or just porting them over, as Suikoden 1 and 2 are fan favorites that are incredibly hard to get and are super expensive. If you missed them, you missed a lot. Yeah, even a game like Earthbound, you can at least play on NSO or, what have you. I'm sure people are going to say, well, you can emulate Suikoden 1 or 2, and I'm sure you probably can. But I don't really mess with that, and I really want to just be able to play the game how it's meant to be played. So when I finally saw that they were going to be doing a remake, I had been watching this like a hawk. Almost every other day, I'll just be checking news to see if there's any update on it. And it, of course, was supposed to come out in 2023. But just recently, they announced it's going to be delayed until 2024. And the thing that bothered me the most is they didn't give a date, which for me in these situations is kind of scary, because the fact is, yes, these games are a cult and people love them and whatever, but there could be a situation that arises where they cost too much, or the company decides to pull at the last minute. We've seen this many times before. I would really prefer if they would at least give a date so we have an idea when it's supposed to come out. With very little news coming out about them, it's kind of worrisome. I hope that they still stay on track, and yes, if it needs to be delayed to make it better, then go ahead. But I just hope that at that same time something else doesn't happen and these games get canceled. It happens many times where a company will say, you know what, we're not even going to make that much off these games and they're already costing us more money and more time. Let's just pull them and make a free-to-play or a games as a service type thing and, actually just make money. Screw the art, screw video games. We don't really care about the fans. We want money. I mean, and that's their job. That's what they're supposed to do. So yeah, it's just worrisome, especially like I said, when it comes to something that probably will struggle to get like 500,000 in sales or something. I don't know for sure, but I don't hear this series being talked about a lot. Like, the people who really like it, but it was so low-key that, well, that's why the games are so expensive. They didn't make a lot of people weren't really into them, or never even really saw them or played them, I should say. And so that just bothers me, knowing that delays always mean more money. And when a company is looking at this and they're saying, well, okay, this game is probably not going to sell that well, it's not huge amongst the RPG community or the gaming community as a whole, and now it's costing us even extra. We don't know when it's going to come out. The team hasn't given a definitive date. Let's just pull it and make a free mobile game. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying that's exactly what they're going to do or that's the plan. I don't know. But it's a possibility now that there isn't a specific date. But that's not the only game that I've been watching that has also been delayed. I've been looking forward to a game called Eiyuden Chronicles 100 Heroes. Ironically, this game actually comes to us from a lot of the people who did Suikoden 1 and 2, so that really seems to add up, right? Like, they have nothing to do with the Suikoden 1 and 2 remake, but yeah, they're still having delays on this game. Now, I have far more confidence that this game will actually come out, because it is like a Kickstarter game, and they've already released the first game in the series, which was really good. I really enjoyed it. And that was Eiyuden Chronicles Rising, and that played more like a 2D side-scroller, like an action RPG game, as where I believe 100 Heroes is going to be more like the typical turn-based Suikoden-style RPG where you go around and you collect, I'm sure, like 100 heroes and fight some war or something like that. I'm not 100% sure what it's about, but I do know that I've been really looking forward to it, and it kind of sucks that the game isn't going to be something that's released in the near future, as I thought it was going to be. They had been saying since, like 2019, I think, that it was going to be coming out at 2023, and it got delayed. That happens. Hopefully, though, it's to make the game better. And like I said, this one I worry less about because I'm pretty sure they're going to follow through with it. I almost think it's more difficult for them not to, considering the Kickstarter aspect and all of that. Although I don't know. I have no idea the ins and outs and the legal of Kickstarter and all that stuff. And especially being picked up and with the first game coming out, I don't think it did great, but I do know it's on Game Pass, and that's usually a good paycheck for them. So I'm sure they'll continue the work on this one, and they'll be releasing it probably early to mid 2024. I can't say for sure, but delays suck, right? And we don't like delays. What's worse than delays? Cancels. And recently we learned that Immortal Phoenix Rising 2 was canceled by Ubisoft. Ubisoft being Ubisoft. I'm telling you, so many people have not played Immortal Phoenix Rising, and it is so good. It was like this love letter between Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild and some of the Assassin's Creed games. It was even more, I would say, focused than a lot of the Assassin's Creed games, which is what a lot of people have wanted, with a great story. It was kind of corny, but it was funny, and really, honestly, great characters. It was very personable. The team that worked on this really did a great job. And you don't expect that from Ubisoft, to be honest. Like, you kind of expect these, like, sandbox games, these, collect-a-thon type games where there's just a million things to do and you almost get bored and you forget what's going on and there's 1,000 side quests, all of that. That's not the way this game was. This game was, like I said, I think at the infancy, somebody said, hey, we're going to rip off Breath of the Wild. It did really good. And they said, okay, we'll support that. But then they really put a lot of passion and heart into this game. It was so good. And then they even said part 2, they were going to take out more of the Ubisoft crap. They were going to do away with more of like the larger Assassin's Creed type game tropes. They were going to more focus in on gameplay and combat. And if you played the game, you know that the first one is really about like kind of Greek mythology. And then the DLC had a lot of Chinese mythology. And so the part 2 was going to be even more in depth to a different culture's mythology with different things to learn. And I don't know, it just looked really good. The first one, like I said, was really good. It's always on sale. It's one of those games I tell everyone, you should play this game. You will like it. I know you don't think you will, but it is so much better than what people give it credit for. It reminds me a lot of like Guardians of the Galaxy. If you've never played it, you think, it's just another trash Marvel game coming out, but it's so good. And yeah, like that was my experience with Immortal Phoenix Rising. As I played it, I was really looking for something to fill the void of Breath of the Wild, and it did so much more than that. In fact, there are so many aspects of it that, yeah, you can see it ties into Breath of the Wild, but just slightly, honestly. Like, at what point do we say, roaming around a big world and crafting things is Breath of the Wild, But it does offer so much more. And of course, Ubisoft being Ubisoft is, committed to working on more of their other big titles. And I think they're even going back to the Assassin's Creed, Valhalla style, which was fine. It's a good game, but after 70 hours, it's like, come on. Wrap it up. We've really been, I think, wanting more of a focused approach from them when it comes to Assassin's Creed, and I don't think they should do it with Assassin's Creed, don't get me wrong, but there's just some of those games that Ubisoft makes that I think we're kind of over, and it just sucks that Immortal Phoenix Rising 2 got canceled, and that's probably my biggest heartbreak of 2023 when it comes to gaming, and it seems kind of a silly thing to say, but hey, it's the things we look forward to, right? As I said before, let me know down in the comment section, what are some of the heartbreaks on gaming that you've had of 2023? What are the games maybe that just didn't turn out like you wanted it to, or got canceled or delayed or whatever? Anything down in the comment section. I really appreciate each and every one of you guys. Have a happy Labor Day. Take care, everyone. Love y'all. Bye-bye.